Hello! The focus of this presentation will be mostly on transformers, but I will also have to touch upon RC sliders and the other transposer objects such as the T-point and the pose anchor. So what are transformers? Transformers are controllers of non-hierarchical groups of objects on the stage. Now this may sound a little bit too complex, but a quick demonstration will give you a very good idea what I am talking about. As with all other EDAP special objects, we control them with the Kineflex tool. So I'll grab Kineflex by pressing G and start a little demo by creating a keyframe, and then with the Kineflex tool I will move the facial features to one side. Then I will use this half squash controller to squash this side a little bit. I'll push a little bit more and squash a little bit more. Then I can rearrange this area by moving the nose in relation to this muzzle oval a little bit, and then I can control the angle of this muzzle oval a little bit further, and then I can move the wrinkles so that they appear better centered. And finally I'll probably decide to deal with the eyebrows and the hair to center it better and maybe rotate a little bit. Well, one last thing, I will offset the ears slightly, maybe even lower them a bit and rotate. So with a few clicks we have created a 3/4 view, and since these are all separate symbols on separate layers, we can tween between these views. So this is a very quick and I hope impressive demonstration of the power of transformers. Now I can further just keep going by adding another keyframe and possibly upping the facial features a little bit, lowering the ears, maybe add a little bit of rotation here, just a little bit like this, and I will change the mouth, change the direction of the pupils, adjust the hair even further. If that is not enough, I can squash it and skew it and squash it and adjust even further. Alright, and I can control the width of the eyes as well, individually with these or together. And also, probably I should have done it here in the first place, change the facial oval a little bit, just a little bit, so that it doesn't stay completely static, and maybe squash it a little bit and offset a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, this is quite convincing, so I'll have to adjust the hair. On top of using the transformers and sliders, we can use Smart Graphic Control to frame pick different facial features. So for example, if we would like to change the mouth in this frame, we can click on the mouth thumbnail. Let me just keep going for another couple of keyframes. I will start by duplicating this one here and use it as a basis of a new pose. Let's close the eyes and lower the facial features a little further. Let's see how it goes. So we will want to close the eyes much earlier than this, probably here. And then finally to just settle on a slightly different, just consider this an overshoot, so let's do just this with an easing of 100. Let me play this back. This should be a good enough demonstration of what we can do with transformers. Alright, now let's look into how to create transformers and how to actually use them. The fastest and most straightforward way is using the dedicated buttons in Smart Magnet Rig Helpers panel, but we can also use the command create TransPoser objects with the shortcut key of Shift plus F7 or the button in EDAP commands panel. Let's enter this symbol and start our introduction. The first one I will create via this button. We are presented with a dialog. There are three types that we can choose from. A move transformer, which will also allow us to rotate, and two squash transformers, which also allow us to skew. So let's create the move transformer. An object was added to the stage. A layer was created called transformers. You should never rename this layer. And in the library, transformers are added to the EDAP objects folder, which you should never ever touch, rename or delete. If we look at the transformer itself, you can see that there is a little 3-dot button here below it. Transformers are operated with Kinematics. We can drag it around, and if we would like to add objects to it, we need to select an object and click on the 3 dots. Go add, and now the transformer will move this instance. Now let me undo and select the other one and add, so that now we have added the second instance and we can now move both. Let me undo just to keep them centered. We can reposition the transformer by moving it with just the transform tool or the free transform tool. We can use two modifiers while dragging it with Kineflex. If we hold down Shift and drag horizontally, the movement is restrained to only the X axis. If we drag with Shift but we drag vertically, the movement is constrained to the Y axis. Also, we can hold down Alt and we can rotate. The center of rotation in this case is just the midpoint of the bounding box of the objects. Okay, now let us create a horizontal scale transformer. This time I will select the objects first and then create the transformer. They will be automatically added, so I can start squashing them like this. And let me create a vertical scale transformer. This time I'll use the shortcut. It presents us with the same dialog that we have already seen. The scale vertically transformer is chosen from here. With the V tool I can move it and position it somewhere. I'll put it here and just try it. So this is how normal scaling looks like. If I hold down Shift, we'll get some skewing, and if I hold down Alt, we'll get the other type of skewing. So again, undo, and the same thing applies to the horizontal scale transformer. With Shift, it's this kind of skewing, and with Alt, it's this kind of skewing. Alright, we can customize our transformers by double-clicking them and typing some text here, or drawing a picture. This layer is all for you. So if I grab the text tool and call it move, and then also we can give them a tint to colorize them if we would like to have various colors, as I showed you with the bunny. Transformers also have settings in EDAP control panel. So if we call EDAP control panel, the create transposer objects will allow you to choose different default colors and also the controller size, and whether the controllers will snap back when you release Kineflex. Now is the moment to introduce T-points. Just for the ease of use, I'll create a keyframe for these rectangles so that I don't need to undo all the time. With the current setup, the only way we can rotate would be around the center of the bounding box of the two objects that are part of the group, and the same thing applies to squashing. Now, what if we would like to change this and do the transformations around any other point? This is what the T-point is for. Enter one of the instances and press this button to add a T-point. An object was added and the layer for it was created. It's called T-point. Do not rename it, do not delete it. I'll put it here, the T-point. And now if we do rotation, this will be the point of our transformations. So hold down Alt and rotate. The same will apply to skewing. Now, it's very important to understand that when we have multiple T-points present in a group, only the one that is on the topmost layer is red. So in this case, since these are the same instances, we added the T-point here, but if we double-click the other instance, we also have a T-point here in this instance. If we would like to use this one or make it active, we have to swap the order of the rectangles. Now, when this rectangle is on the topmost layer, the transformations will happen around this T-point. So, look at this. And the same thing will apply to squashing. So swapping the orders will also allow you, when you have multiple instances, make sure to put the one that you would like to have the active T-point, make sure to put it on top of the others. What else? Let me show you one or two more things. Now let's go out of this container and rotate it slightly, just like this, and enter again. If we do the horizontal constraint, you will see that the horizontal movement is always happening along the local horizontal axis, which is very handy for facial rigs because you don't destroy the space. Same thing with squashing. Another thing that I want to show you is that if we flip the container and go inside, now this is difficult to read, right? This button here called Straighten Controllers will fix that for you. Just press it and the text becomes readable again. And these are the more important basics of using transformers. Now let's look at this and try to rig it. So before going for any rigging, let's look at what objects this face consists of. We have the ears. I've basically removed all the fancy masking, except for there is the facial oval and the mask for the facial oval, but the eyes don't have any masks, so we only have the eyes and the pupils and the cheeks. The eyebrows are separate individual symbols, and the muzzle or mouth is separated into two pieces. Now these are two separate pieces, but inside they're masked and they refer to one unified normal mouth. So these are the elements, and now let's create transformers so that we can actually use this for a facial animation. First of all, let's create a vertical scale transformer for the facial oval. I'll put it here. I probably need to start naming them as I go, but anyway, for now I'll only make it larger and leave it here. I will create a move transformer for the ears. Put it here so that it's clear that it's for the ears. Now all the facial features but the mask and the oval and the ears, I suppose, need to be part of the facial group. So we need a move transformer, another big move transformer. Let's make it bigger, and now let's tint this one. So I'll tint it blue so that there's some association. Half transformers for squashing the halves. I'll select all of these and add a horizontal scale transformer. There's one. So now I can squash this part, although you can see that it doesn't squash the way I want, so we'll need a T-point here. Another squash transformer for this other half, so scale horizontally. Put it here. What else? We can do a vertical squash transformer for the eyes. Let me color this, let me color it white and try to see, yep. And a move transformer for the eyebrows. I'll tint it green for now, because if it's dark I won't see it. And maybe a couple of transformers for the pupils. So one move. And because there are two of them, we need to be able to adjust only one of the pupils. So another one here. I'll make this one smaller and tint it yellow as well. So with this one we can move both, and with this one we can move only one of the pupils. Okay, what else? Finally we can add a rotate slider for the ears. Let's see. A rotate slider, secondary only, which means that it will take the flipped into account. Let's see. Yep, that's the kind we need. For the pupils we can add a scale slider. Let's do that. So a scale uniform. I'll make this one vertical and I'll make it small. What color? Yellow. Okay, so these are the groups and these are the controllers, and now I can save my file. We can name some of these. Let's go here and type eyebrows for this one. These are kind of clear, and maybe I'll name this one pupils. And finally, let's add a move transformer for the muzzle so that it can go up and down, at least. Okay, so I'll just put it here. Now let's lock and let's try to create a pose. What should we do? Let's move the facial features up first. So something like this, and the muzzle a little bit higher, and maybe the pupils will go like that. Remember, they're not, the eyes are not masked, so we can't do much of that, but we can open the eyes a little bit, and we need to move the ears a little down, and maybe the eyebrows a little down as well. Okay, so this is, so there we go. Let's try going down, maybe like that. Use it as a basis, and then move it down, down that much, and probably that much. And maybe I should have changed on the facial oval a little bit as well, here, and the ears should go up, and now I can rotate them a little bit as well. It's probably a bit too much. I don't know. Let's see. It's not bad. It's not bad. Let me add this neutral one again here and try to do a turn. Which way? Let's go that way. And then squash half. And then I realized that I've forgotten to add T-points, so my squashing doesn't work. So undo, go to our base position and check my halves here. In both cases, we will need to add a T-point. I'll need to zoom in so that I can position it precisely. I will put it at 0.0 here. And because this one is a different symbol, I'll have to put a T-point here as well. Now once we have the T-points, we can do the scaling, and this time it won't be as destructive. We're scaling toward the center. Maybe I should have included the ear as well. I did not, but anyhow, you get the idea, and I will change the position of the mouth a little bit in relation to the facial oval. Maybe move the eyebrows a little bit in that direction, and I'll probably need to do something with these ears. I guess it's not optimal, but you will get the idea. And of course, more controls would have allowed us to do it better. Still, it's rather convincing. If we happen to be in a flipped container, don't forget that you can straighten controllers and make them readable by pressing this button. If we flip again and enter, they will of course appear flipped, so press the button again and they will become readable again. This has already gotten way too long, so I will not talk about the pose anchor, which is specifically a TransPoser object, and I have covered its use in detail in the TransPoser series of videos. I hope that this little presentation has been inspiring and enjoyable, and also useful. Thanks for watching.